Imagine getting a lawyer's quality contract review in under 60 seconds for free, or having an AI that can scan thousands of pages of case law and tell you exactly which precedents support your argument. That's not science fiction. That's happening right now. The legal industry, one of the most tradition-bound, slow-to-change professions on the planet, is being quietly disrupted by artificial intelligence. And whether you're a lawyer, a small business owner, or just someone who's ever been confused by a lease agreement, this affects you directly. Today we're breaking down exactly how AI is reshaping law, what it means for legal costs, who's winning, and yes, what happens to lawyers. Let's start with the old way of doing things, because it's important context. Legal work is notoriously expensive. If you've ever hired an attorney, you know the billing rates are eye-watering. Anywhere from $200 to $1,000 per hour, depending on the firm and specialty. And a huge chunk of that time isn't spent on brilliant legal strategy. It's spent on the boring stuff, reading contracts, searching case databases, drafting routine documents, and reviewing discovery materials. Thousands of pages of emails and records in litigation. These are tasks that are repetitive, time-consuming, and frankly, well-suited for automation. The average law firm associate might spend 60 to 70% of their time on these kinds of tasks, and clients are paying for every minute of it. AI is stepping in to do those jobs faster, cheaper, and with fewer errors. One of the most immediate and visible applications of AI in law is contract review. Tools like Kira Systems, LexCheck, and Luminance can scan a contract and flag unusual clauses, missing provisions, and potential risks in minutes. Work that used to take paralegals or junior associates hours or even days. This is especially big in mergers and acquisitions, where due diligence can involve reviewing hundreds of contracts across an entire company. An AI can cross-reference every agreement against a template standard, identify deviations, and generate a summary report. What used to take a team of lawyers weeks can now be done in hours. For everyday people, tools like DocuSign's AI features and Ironclad are bringing this same power to small businesses and individuals. You can paste in a rental agreement or vendor contract and get a plain English explanation of what you're agreeing to, which clauses favor the other party, and what you should push back on. That's democratizing access to legal knowledge in a real way. Legal research has always been one of the most time-intensive parts of the job. You need to know what courts have ruled in similar situations, understand how those rulings apply to your case, and make sure you're not missing something that could blow up your argument later. Platforms like Westlaw and LexisNexis have been the standard for decades, but they still required lawyers to know how to search effectively and then read through mountains of material. Now AI is changing that. Tools like Casetext's CoCounsel, which is powered by GPT-4, allow attorneys to ask questions in plain English and receive summaries of relevant case law with citations. You can say, find cases where a landlord was held liable for mold-related health issues in California, and get a structured summary in seconds. Thomson Reuters acquired Casetext for $650 million in 2023. That tells you how seriously the industry is taking this. Harvey AI, another major player, has been adopted by large law firms and allows attorneys to handle entire research workflows through a conversational interface. The time savings are staggering, and the quality is getting very hard to distinguish from what a skilled attorney would produce. AI is also making its presence felt in litigation support. E-discovery, the process of sorting through electronic records to find relevant documents for a lawsuit, is one of the most expensive parts of litigation. A single case might involve reviewing millions of emails and files. AI-powered e-discovery platforms like Relativity and Everlaw use machine learning to categorize documents by relevance, identify key themes, and flag potentially privileged communications. This cuts costs dramatically and makes it feasible to pursue cases that might otherwise be too expensive for smaller parties to litigate. There are also AI tools being used to predict litigation outcomes. Firms are analyzing historical court data to estimate the probability that a judge will rule in a certain way, how long a case is likely to take, and what settlement amounts tend to look like in similar disputes. This is powerful, not because it replaces lawyer judgment, but because it informs strategy and helps clients make better decisions about whether to settle or fight. Here's the angle that doesn't get talked about enough. The United States has a massive access to justice gap. Studies suggest that 80% of low-income Americans have unmet legal needs. They face evictions, debt collection, family disputes, and immigration issues with no legal representation because they simply can't afford it. AI has the potential to change that. Tools like Do Not Pay started as a parking ticket chatbot and have grown into a platform that helps users fight unfair charges, cancel subscriptions, draft demand letters, and navigate small claims court. Joshua Browder, the founder, calls it the world's first robot lawyer. It's had legal challenges, but the concept is real. More importantly, legal aid organizations are beginning to use AI to handle intake, answer basic questions, and help clients understand their rights, scaling their capacity without scaling their headcount. For the first time, someone who can't afford a $300 consultation might be able to get reliable, actionable legal guidance on their phone for free or close to it. There's another major area of legal AI that doesn't get enough attention: compliance and regulatory monitoring. For businesses, especially those in highly regulated industries like finance, healthcare, and energy, staying current with the constant flow of regulations, new rules, and enforcement guidance is a full-time job. AI is transforming how compliance teams operate. Tools like Compliance AI and Ascent RegTech use AI to monitor regulatory sources continuously, analyze new rules and guidance documents, and alert compliance teams to changes that are relevant to their specific business. Instead of a team of lawyers manually tracking regulatory feeds and summarizing changes, the AI does that work automatically and flags only what matters. Contract management for large organizations is another area seeing rapid AI adoption. Companies with hundreds or thousands of active contracts need to track expiration dates, renewal options, change in control provisions, and compliance obligations. AI-powered contract lifecycle management tools like Acertus and Evisort can scan an entire contract portfolio, extract key terms into structured data, and provide dashboards and alerts. This kind of visibility used to require significant legal department resources to maintain manually. Now for the question everyone's asking: are AI tools replacing lawyers? The honest answer is nuanced. Yes, AI is automating tasks that used to justify large numbers of junior associates and paralegals. Some entry-level legal jobs are going to disappear or shrink significantly. Large law firms are already doing more work with smaller teams because of AI. But the higher-order skills, courtroom advocacy, building client relationships, creative legal strategy, interpreting ambiguous situations, those are still very much in the human domain. What's happening is a shift in what lawyers are expected to do. The ones who embrace AI tools and learn to work with them are becoming dramatically more productive. A solo practitioner with the right AI stack can now take on the kind of workload that used to require a small firm. The legal market is bifurcating: AI-leveraged lawyers handling routine work efficiently, and human specialists handling complex, high-stakes matters. The lawyers who refuse to adapt, who ignore these tools and keep billing hours on tasks AI does better, they're the ones in trouble. The new generation of law students entering the profession in 2026 are already learning to use these tools as part of their standard training. Law schools that haven't updated their curriculum to include AI tools are falling behind. Bar associations are actively debating what competence with AI tools means in the context of professional responsibility. At what point does failing to use available AI tools constitute a failure to provide competent representation? These are not hypothetical questions. They're being worked out right now in real professional settings. The legal industry is changing faster than most people realize, and that's good news if you're a consumer of legal services. Lower costs, broader access, faster turnaround, AI is delivering all of that. If you're a lawyer, the message is clear. Get comfortable with these tools now, before the market forces you to. And if you're a business owner or just someone navigating everyday legal situations, start exploring tools like Do Not Pay, Kira, or even just using AI assistants to understand documents before you sign them. We'll link to some free tools in the description below. If this video helped you understand what's happening in legal AI, hit subscribe, We break down this kind of stuff every week in plain language. See you in the next one.